Hello everyone and welcome to this new tutorial on my channel, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make this adorable Miffy bookmark, and it has Miffy on one end and a little circle to keep it in place on the other end. And something I like to do is to add this little bow on top, and I like to match this color with the color of the string. Here I made one in pink and here I made one in purple. Let me know in the comments which color you're choosing, and don't forget, if you liked the video, please give the thumbs up. This would really help me a lot. And let's get started. You'll need white for Miffy and one other color of your choice for the string. I'm going to use blue in this tutorial. Also, the yarn I'm using is a combination of 60% cotton with 40% acrylic. You'll need a crochet hook. I'm using a 3mm hook, scissors, a darning needle, some thinner black yarn. I'm using a broderie yarn, glue and some stuffing. First we're going to make Miffy, and for that we're going to start by making the base of the head. So for that, grab your white yarn and we're first going to make a magic circle. If you're not entirely sure how to do this, I've got a separate video on my channel where I explain step by step how I'm always doing it, and I will link that down below in the description. Alright, so for the first round we're going to do 5 single crochet into the magic circle. So for that, go into the magic circle, pick up a loop. Now you got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. That's your first single crochet right there. We're going to do a total of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you got 5 single crochet, we can close the magic circle. And now the first round is finished. For the second round, we're going to do increases. So in all of the 5 stitches that we got around, we're going to do an increase. And because of that, we're going to go up from a stitch count of 5 to a stitch count of 10. Right, so let's find our first stitch. That's this one. And we're first just going to do a single crochet. Now, because we're going to do an increase, we're going to go back into the same space and do another single crochet in there. That was our first increase. Let's do one more. So find your second stitch, do a single crochet, go back into the same space and do another single crochet in there. We're going to do this 3 more times, and at the end your stitch count should be 10. Alright, so I just did my last increase and now my stitch count is 10. Now for round 3 till round 5, so for a total of 3 rounds, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in all of the stitches that we got around. So if you're counting stitches, you'll be doing a total of 30 single crochet, and if you're moving your stitch marker, you should move your stitch marker 3 times. Alright, so let's do that, and I will meet you at the end of round 5. Once you're done with round 5, your work should look something like this. And now let's first do some stuffing before we're going on to the last round already. So let's put this yarn end into our work. This is the yarn end of the magic circle. And let's grab some stuffing. And it's a really small project, so you really don't need too much stuffing. Just make sure that something is in there, and after the last round you can still put some more in there. Alright, so now I've done most of my stuffing and I've pushed it down a bit with my scissors so that it's not in our way when we're doing the last round. Okay, so let's attach it to our hook again. And now for the last round, which is round 6, we're just going to do 4 invisible decreases. And because of that, we're going to go down from a stitch count of 10 to a stitch count of 6. So we're basically going to skip 2 stitches of the round, but that's okay We just want to make sure that we end up with a stitch count of 6. Alright. So to do an invisible decrease, we're going to grab the front loops of the next 2 stitches. So instead of going underneath the entire V stitch like this, we're going to go back a little bit and we're only going to grab the front loop. Like so. We keep this on our hook and then we're going to grab the front loop of the next stitch as well. Like this. Now we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. And then we're going to finish the decrease by yarning over and pulling through the last 2 loops. That's our first invisible decrease. Now let's do that 3 more times. So find your next stitch, grab the front loop, keep it on your hook, grab the next front loop as well, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. 2 more times, so front loops and front loops. Like that. Now the round is already finished. Now to finish off, let's do a slip stitch into the next stitch. Then we can cut off our yarn, leave some into it. It's not working. Alright, there you go. Then we pull through the yarn. And now is the moment where you can add some less stuffing in there. Because the hole is a lot smaller, I'm going to use my scissors here. Once you're done with your stuffing, we just need to close this gap. And you can either copy me or do your own thing. What I always do is, here we did the slip stitch. This is the next stitch from the hook and this is the stitch after that. We're gonna go in right here. We're gonna come out right there. Then we're going to grab the yarn and pull it through. Like so. Now we're going to repeat that 1 more time. So here is where our yarn end is coming out of. This is the next stitch and this is the stitch after the next stitch. We're gonna go in here. Come out of there, grab the yarn and pull it through. Alright, now we can already push it down with our right thumb and then we can pull this yarn end right here to close the gap. Alright, and now it should basically disappear. Now we're going to make a knot to secure it. So go back into the same space as your yarn end is coming out of. Come out of a space right next to it. Okay. And create a loop by pulling it through. Now we're not going to pull this yarn end right here, but we're going to pull the other end of the loop to make the hole even tighter. All right. Once you're happy with that, we can grab the yarn end and pull it through the loop. Then we go into a stitch somewhere randomly. We come out of a space close to the yarn end and we pull it through right here. Now we can cut off the yarn. And now the base of the hat is finished. Now let's make the ears, and the pattern is going to be a little bit different for the left ear as compared to the right ear. So let's first make the ear on this side right here. For that we're going to grab our white yarn again. And we're going to start off by making a slip knot. Now to make a slip knot we're going to keep this yarn end right here in between our right thumb and middle finger. We're going to wrap it around our index finger to create a loop. Now we're going to pull through the long yarn end. We're going to pull it through the loop and then we tighten it by pulling the short yarn end. All right. Make sure you have some end right here so that we can attach it to the head. Now we're going to chain 4. So first yarn over and then just pull it through the loop on your hook. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we're going to do 3 single crochet going from the second chain from our hook. However, we're not going to go into the chains right here at the front, which you would usually go into. No, we're going to flip our work so that we face the back of the chain like this. And on the back of the chain, we will see these little loops right here. So we see one right there, and we see one right there. And there will be one more up above here, but we're going to skip that one since we're going to skip the first chain. We're going to skip this one. So we're going to go do a single crochet into this loop right here, one into this loop and one into this loop. So this is on the back of our chain. All right. So let's find the first chain on the back of our work. So this is the last one, this is the second to last one, and this is the third to last one. So we're going to go in that one right here. This might be a little bit difficult. And do a single crochet. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. So one in here and one in here. Like that, and need to do one more. Like so. Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to cut off the yarn. And pull it through. Okay, so right now we made this ear on the left side. Now let's make this ear right here. And the pattern is going to be similar but not entirely the same. So let's first make a slip knot. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're just going to do 3 single crochet into the loops of the back of our work, going from the second chain from our hook, just like we did for the previous ear. However, we chained 5 instead of 4, which means that we will skip the last chain right here. All right, let's do that together. So first, let's take a look at the back of our work. And we're going to look for the 4th chain from the left, the 4th loop. Okay, so this is 1 right here, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna go in here because we chained 5, so chain 4 is the second chain from our hook. And we're going to do a single crochet. Now let's do 2 more. So this is the next loop right here. And do a single crochet. And now for the last time, do a single crochet. So as you can see, we still have 1 chain left. However, we're going to skip that one. We're just going to cut off our yarn, pull it through, and now this ear is finished as well. Now let's already attach the ears to our head right here. And we're going to attach the middle parts of the ears, so these two strings. We're going to attach it to the middle of the magic circle. So we're going to pull them through right in the middle of here. And we're going to attach the outer parts of the ears right in between the first round and the second round. And we're going to make sure that they're like in a straight line like this. All right, so let's do that together. Grab your darning needle. Let's grab the middle string of this ear. All right, let's go into the magic circle right here. And let's come out of a random stitch like that. All right. Now let's grab the other yarn end of this ear. And we're going to choose a stitch in between the first round and the second round. So in between this round and this round right here. So it doesn't really matter which one you're choosing. And come out of the same space where this yarn end is coming out of. And just pull it through. Now we're going to grab the other ear and let's first attach the middle string to our needle. All right, we're once again gonna go into the magic circle, into the middle of the magic circle, and come out of a different random space this time. So for example, right there. Pull it through. Now we're going to attach the other yarn end. And for this one, it's important that it's in between round 1 and 2 and that it's in line with the other ear. So when we pull down our ears like this, we can see that this stitch right here, make sure that it's all in one line like this. So I'm gonna go in right there. This is in between round 1 and 2. Might be a little difficult to see, but this is the magic circle and this is the second round. Okay, come out of the same space where this other yarn end is coming out of and pull it through. Now you can pull it a little bit and check at the front whether you like how they are positioned. And I think this looks just fine. So I'm going to secure them, and we're going to secure them by grabbing the 2 strings of the same ear. So these are the strings of this ear right here. And we're just going to make a double knot into them. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 1 and this is 2. All right, now we can cut off all of these yarn ends. Cut them short. And then we can push the yarn ends into our work. Like so. Now we can shape it a little bit by pulling it however you want. And now the ears are attached. All right, so now let's sew on the face. And sewing on the face might be a little bit difficult. And that is because it is really small. It's very like, if it's just a little bit different, it's easy to notice. So please, if you don't like the way yours looks after the first time, don't be afraid of taking it out and trying it again. I've done that for the purple one as well a couple of times, and you shouldn't be afraid of doing that. That's totally part of the process. So first we're going to grab the black embroidery yarn. If you don't have embroidery yarn, you can also use regular yarn. And because regular yarn is a bit thicker usually, something you could do is grab the end and you can untwist the yarn. And because of that, you can use a thinner strand like this. This also works just fine. However, if you have embroidery yarn, you can use that as well. Okay, so I'm going to attach it to my darning needle. All right, so for sewing on the face, we're going to start by making the nose. And we're going to make the nose on top of row 5, and we're going to make this little cross shape like this. So let's count from the top. This is the first round, covered by the ears. This is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to sew the nose right on top of this round right here, which means that the top of the nose will be in between round 4 and 5, and the bottom of the nose will be in between round 5 and 6. We're just going to cover the middle right here. All right, let's first go into a random stitch. For example, the stitch right here on the side of our head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to come out of a space in between round 4 and 5. So at the top of our nose, for example, right here. And you're going to come out a little bit to the left of the middle or a little bit to the right, depends on where you're going to start your cross, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to start it at the top left right here. All right. Now I'm going to move down and I'm going to move to the right side. I'm gonna go in right here, for example. So this is in between round 5 and 6, and I'm going a little bit to the right. Now let's go out of a stitch, out of a random stitch. And by that we've created the first line of the cross, like this. Now let's go back into this random space that we chose, and let's come out of the top right or the left bottom, doesn't really matter, but we're going to make the second line so that we can complete the cross. All right, now I'm gonna go in here to complete the cross. Now let's go out of a random stitch again. And let's see whether we like the way it looks. If you don't like the way it looks, you can just take it out and try again. Okay, once you're happy with the way your nose looks, we can start making the eyes. And for the eyes, we're going to want to make sure that they are in line with the top of our nose. So we made the top of our nose in between round 4 and 5. Here is going to be the bottom of our eyes as well. And for the eyes, I don't like to go up an entire row like this. I like to go up like half a row so that they are a bit smaller vertically. All right, so let's do that. Let's go back into this random space that we chose right here. And let's come out of a stitch which is in line with the top of our nose and a bit to the left. So for example, let's come out right here. Let's look at front whether I like how that's positioned. I think a little bit more. Well, I think that's fine. Yeah, let's try it. If I don't like the way it looks, I'm just going to take it out. All right. Now I'm gonna go up half a row or something like that, just a little bit. Like this, for example. So if I would go up an entire row, I would go all the way up here. However, I think it looks nicer if you go not all the way up, but a little bit less. So let's, for example, go in right here. Now I'm already going to choose a space on the right side of my face, because right now it's easier to see the distance. And I want to make this distance the same as this distance right here. So for example, let's come out right here. All right. I think I like the way that eye is positioned, so I'm going to keep it like this. Now I'm gonna go up half a row here as well. So for example, right here. Now I'm gonna go back to this eye right here, because I'm going to make the eye a little bit thicker by making one more string here. So come out right there. Okay. And let's go in at the top right here. This eye kind of disappears, but we can fix that. Come back here as well. All right, now this eye is finished. Let's go make one more here as well by going in here once again. And let's come out of this same space right here, where our other yarn end's coming out of. Let's pull it through. All right. I'm going to pull this eye a little bit to the front. And I'm going to check. Whether I like how it looks. If I don't like the way it looks, I can just take it out still. All right. I think that works. So I'm going to cut off the yarn ends. Going to cut them short, not too short, because we're gonna need to secure it still. Then I'm going to make a double knot into them. Make sure you don't pull this too tightly, because then you can change the shape of your face. Just pull it slightly and make a double knot. Then we can cut off the yarn, cut it short and push it into your work with your scissors. And then it shouldn't be visible anymore. So now our face is finished. All right, so once your face is finished, we can make the string. This string right here. So for that, grab your colored yarn. And we're going to start off by making a magic circle again. And into the magic circle, we're just going to do 10 single crochet. So let's do that. and 10. Then we can close the magic circle. Now let's do a slip stitch into the first stitch. So that's this stitch right here. So now the little circle is finished and we're going to make the chain. So for making the chain, you want to make the chain just as long as the length of your book. So let's say that this is your book, this is the bottom and this is the top. You want to make sure that the chain covers the entire length of your book right here. So for me, that's 50 chains. However, if your book is longer, you can make your chain longer. And if your book is shorter, you can make your chain shorter. So you can totally customize it. All right, so I'm going to chain 50 and I will meet you once our chain is complete. All right, so once you got your desired length, we can cut off the yarn. Make sure you leave quite some end to it. And pull it through. Now let's first hide this yarn end right here, which is the one of our magic circle. So let's attach it to our needle. And let's just go through some random spaces right here. Push it to the other side like this. Push it through. And then we can already cut off the yarn. Now let's attach the string to our Miffy. So for that, we're going to attach our darning needle to this yarn end right here. And we're going to attach it to the bottom right here. And something I like to do is to grab two strands, one on this side and one on this side, two random strings, and to make a knot using them. So let's first go underneath, for example, this string right here. This loop. All right, let's go through there. Now on the other side of the bottom of Miffy, we're going to grab another string. Okay, pick up a loop. And okay, I feel like I can go a little bit more to the right to make sure that they are like in line with each other. Example, this string right here. Okay, so grab two strings like this and just pull it through so that it will look like this. Now we're gonna go to the last chain that we did, so this chain right here, and we're gonna move from one side to the other side. So we're going to push our needle right through the chain right here. So go from one side to the other side like this. Now I need to do it again. All right, go through there and create a loop. Now we're gonna go through the loop with our needle and we're going to pull it, and by doing that we're creating a knot. Now let's hide this yarn end right here by going into a space close to the yarn end on Miffy. Okay, pull it through, come out of the other side. Okay, push it like this. And then we can cut off this yarn end. All right, now the bookmark is almost finished and you can leave it like this. However, I'd like to add a little bow right here. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So grab your yarn I'm going to use the same color as I did for the string. And I'm just going to cut off some length. Doesn't really matter how long, just so that we have something to work with. Now to make the bow, we're going to make a loop like this. All right. Now we're going to wrap this longer yarn end around the loop once again. So keep it between your left index finger and thumb to keep it in place. Wrap the long yarn end around the loop. And now we're gonna pull through this yarn end, pull it through the loop that we created right here. Okay. And now we can pull this one that we have in between our right thumb and index finger and this loop right here to make a bow. However, this yarn end's a little bit too short, so I'm going to keep it in between my fingers. And this is the bow already. It just looks a little odd, but we fix that by pulling the yarn ends. So by putting this one right here, we're making this one smaller, and by putting this one, we're making this one smaller. Alright, really make sure that the bow is tight. And I'm going to try to get this yarn end to the bottom as well. So I'm just going to pull it downwards a bit. I'm going to pull to make it shorter. We just want to make sure that the bow looks nice in proportion to Miffy. Alright, this is a little bit too small. Alright. So you can just pull this till you're happy with the way it looks. Alright, so once you're happy with the size of your bow, we can first make sure that the bow is really tight by pulling it once again. And then we can cut off these yarn ends till they are a bit shorter. Like this. Now let's grab our glue, and I like to attach the bow to this ear right here. So I'm just going to put a little droplet of glue right here, just a little bit, you don't need much. And I'm going to attach the bow right here. Okay, just push it down. Make sure that you like how it's positioned. You can still change it when the glue is wet. And now just wait for it to dry. Alright, once it's all dry, it's ready to be used as a bookmark. I hope you liked the way yours turned out. If you liked the video, don't forget to give the thumbs up. This would really help me a lot. And if you would like to see more videos like this one, please subscribe, and I hope I will see you in another video. So thank you for watching and see you!